I think this is being recorded. So this is so okay. Now I think let's start this. Asman Gurubhyo Namaha, Asman Paramarthika Namaha, Asman Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Harvadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Pranamastu. Okay, we'll start this lecture right away. Let me share screen. So we'll start this lecture 7. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Very good. So the previous class, an important point was made. I'm going to repeat it so that we understand what it is. Tadeva Atmaswarupam Brahma Niratishayam Bhumakhyam Brahatvat Brahmeti Vidhi Vijayatvam. So know that as Atmaswarupam, or the nature of Atman or Brahman. And that will be explained a little bit here. What is, and that Atmaswarupa is explained in the Upanishads as even Bhuma. In another section in Chandogya, section 8, I think, of Chandogya is Bhuma Vidya. There it is known as Bhuma, that is, which is big. Brahatvat Brahmeti, it is very big. That is why Brahma, it is known by the word Brahma. Yehi Vāgādyupādibhihi vācvahava. So what, that is not directly known. There are adjuncts like vak or speech, or the eyes, or the ears. So this Brahman was said to be the speech of the speech, eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind, saying that that is what is making everything work. All of this are known. Yeah, what is your question, Ramaji?
Yeah, my question is,
hello,
the force behind everything, every action or any of our indriyas is Brahman. Then where does the free will portion of come in? You know, we all have a portion which is called the free will, where we can do by ourselves. How does that fit into this? I don't know if you understood my question.
The free will is also enabled by Brahman. Whatever free will you think you have is enabled by Brahman.
Okay, that means we don't have a free will, really speaking.
See, it's a complex question because everything is supported by Brahman. When you say free will, it's a very complicated question and we cannot deal with it in this section.
Okay, then it's okay. We'll do it later on.
All you have to do is whatever thought processes you have, whether it is free will, unfree will, less free will, more free will, it doesn't matter. Everything is made, everything is working because of the presence of Brahman. That's all here. And we will not discuss free will in this class. Okay? Okay. Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Mano. So what this Upanishad is saying is, that is the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, mind of the mind. And whatever we say as all these things, that is Brahman, which is the center, which is by the very presence of that Brahman, everything is happening. And also, this Brahman is known as Karta, Bhokta, Vijñāta, Niyanta, Prashasita. He is known as a doer, actor, Bhokta, enjoyer, experiencer. Vijñāta, knower. Niyanta, controller. Prashasita, Niyanta means he controls, and Prashasita, he the ruler. He orders. Vijnanam, Anandam Brahma. Even it is said as it is Vijnana, that is, this is knowledge. It is bliss, is Brahma. So the Brahmanika Upanishad calls it from different ways. However, these are ways of expressions to express the inexpressible. These are ways. Even in the Upanishads, there are so many such denotations. That is, we denote Brahman by these words, like, it is Ananda, bliss, it is the doer, enjoyer, thinker. All these different attributes are being used. But actually, this Brahman is attributeless. However, the Upanishads speak of them. So give up all those ideas at the end. Atmanameva nirvishesham Brahma vidhi. You are that Brahman and you are attributeless. Brahman is attributeless. Know that for sure. Na idam Brahma yadidam ityupadhi veda vishishtam anatma ishwaradi upasate dhyayante. Don't, the people worship different deities, Ishvara, and all that which is referred by this. The term this means, oh, this is it, that is it. Like, they are all Upadi Vishishta. They are all adjuncts, associated with adjuncts. Whatever they are worshipping, they are not. They may be, oh, I'm actually worshipping Ishvara. He is the Lord. You may think like that. They may think like that. That is not Brahman. Tadeva Brahmatvam vidhi ityuktepi na idam Brahma ityanatma abrahmatvam punaruchyate. So the thing is, initially, it was told Tadeva Brahmatvam vidhi. Know that as Brahman, but not this one which is limited or which is related to the adjuncts and other things. Anya Brahma Parisankhyanartham. So because people should forget, people should not be confused by what is not Brahman. They have to truly know what that Brahman is. And Brahman is you, and you are attributeless. That the true Brahman. This is what he's saying. Now, in the next, in Manasana Manute, Yenahur Manomatam, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. This is the next verse. Yen Manasana Manute, mind cannot think about. I'm sorry, Yen Yat Manasana Manute. Yat is Brahman. That Brahman is, Brahman does not think through the mind. Manaha ityantahkaranam buddhi manor manaso rekat krishyate. Yat manasa na manute. Brahman does not need mind to think. Manaha ityantahkaranam buddhi manaso rekatvena krishyate. That means manaha is the inner organ which refers to both intellect and mind. Manute anena imanaha. Sarvakarana sadharanam sarva vishaya vyapakatvat. So mind is that which helps you know and think and do different things. So it is common to all different senses, like eyes. Eyes do not work without the help of mind. So that is the inner common organ which helps all other senses work. Like ears, everything works with the help of mind. Kamaha, that is desire, decision, vichikitsa is doubt, shraddha, faith, no faith, lack of faith, dhritihi, tenacity to do things, no tenacity. What do you call? He means being shy. Dihi means intelligence. Bihi means fear. All these are mind only. They are modifications of mind. So all these are vṛtti. In Sanskrit, they are known as vṛtti, the functions of mind. Tena manasa yat chaitanya jyotir manaso avabhasakam na manute na sankalpayati napi. Okay, here tena manasa. I have so yat manasa na manute. I have to slightly modify the way I have talked about. Sorry for the mistake. This is the problem with Sanskrit. My understanding of Sanskrit. Yat manasa na manute. That is, mind cannot perceive that Brahman. That's the way we have to take it. Yat, that is Brahman, manasa na manute. He is not thinkable through mind. So mind cannot do any of these actions. That is by desiring or deciding or doubting, faith or unfaith. Mind is known through all these activities, but the mind cannot perceive that Brahman. Brahman is not thinkable through mind. That's the important point here. Sorry, it is not about Brahman using mind. I totally mistook it. Sorry for my mistake. Tadeva Brahma tvam vidhi na idam yad idam upasate. Next, we didn't say yenahuhu manomatam. We didn't explain that. Yenahuhu manomatam means people say, yenahuhu means people say, ena, through that Brahman, because of the Brahman, manomatam, the mind is objectified. Vishayikaroti says. I'll show you what the words of Bhāṣya is. Tena manasayate chaitanya jyotihi manasaha avasakam na manute na sankalpayati. So the mind is illuminated by that chaitanya. The light of Atman illuminates manas. Tena manasa, by using that mind, na manute, that is, that chaitanya or that consciousness or Brahman cannot be willed, is not decided. So human beings cannot understand this Brahman through mind. Manasaha avabhasakatvena niyantritvat. But that Brahman verily is the one which shines the mind. That means mind is visible to us. Mind is visible in the sense mind is perceivable. Oh, this is my mind. We can have an idea of what this mind is using different functions, like mind's functions, like liking, disliking, deciding, fear, and all those things. Sarva vishayam prati pratyagyeva iti swatmani na pravartante antaḥkaraṇam. The inner organ, that is mind, cannot understand the very self, because that self is inside. In every way, whatever object you think of, but the Atman is within. So that mind can perceive different objects, but not the Brahman within. Antastena hi. Antastena hi chaitanya jyotisha avabhasitasya manasaha manana samarthyam. That Brahman is right within the mind, and the consciousness or the light of that Brahman's consciousness is what is making mind work. Mind can think, contemplate, and do different things. And that capability is given by the very Atman which is inside mind. Tena savrittikam manaha yena brahmana matam vishayikritam vyaptamahuhu. So, what is this Brahman doing? Tena savrittikam manaha. this by Brahman, savrittikam manaha means the mind with all the functions. Vṛttis are functions. Yena Brahmana matam vishayikritam. So the Brahman is making our mind as an object. Vishayikritam. You can also say Brahman is permeating, spreading itself into the mind. Katayanti ahu katayanti brahmavida. So say the knowers of Brahman. The knowers of Brahman is making mind perceivable to us as, oh, this is my mind, by permeating into mind. Tasmat tadeva manasaha atmanam pratyakchetayitaram brahma viddhi. So that which makes the mind work, think that as Brahman. That is the consciousness which is making mind operate. Na idam ityadi purvapata. Not this, because anything which is taken as this, that, are all different from. And in the prior shloka, purvavat means in the prior shloka it was explained. It was explained that Brahman is actually you, and not all those different things explained as bliss, consciousness, that, this, a controller. All these things are the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, mind of the mind. That mind of the mind, yes, but not that which is objectified as. Brahman is never an object. That you need to understand. So even what there we need to remember, even the eye of the eye, mind, all this also are wrong denotations. Why? Because they seem to have some attributes. Brahman is attributeless, and that is you. So we need to clearly understand it. So the first shloka is the key. Let me. So here, this particular the Vak verse, I think I need to check that. How do I check it quick? Hold on a second. Just a second. Okay. Just let me show you the screen for a second. So before we start ahead, the first verse is this, Edvachanabhyuditam, Enavagabhyudyate. That is verse 5. I guess you can hear me, right? Okay. Edvachanabhyuditam. What cannot be understood by speech? Enavagabhyudyate. What is making speech work? Tadeva brahmatvam viddhi na idam nedam yedidam upasate. Think that as the Brahman, but not the one which is powering, which is what people worship Brahman as. Remember that. Okay. So this repeats constantly. See here, if you look at it further, let me stop here and come back to this, what we were understanding. Can you see my slide here? I'm repeating certain things. Okay. See, even in the verses in the beginning, what we said is the Brahman is the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, mind of the mind. This was said. And that is Brahman, verily. That was verily the very beginning of Kena Upaniṣad, right? But we are now, we are doing it through the upadhis. The mind is a upadhi, that is a reference to that Brahman. Ear is a reference to that Brahman. Eyes are the reference to Brahman. So we are only knowing, what do we know? We know our mind, we know our eyes, we know our ears, but we don't know Brahman. Brahman is never an object of our thought. So we are indirectly referring to Brahman using speech or mind or any of the upadhis or the external adjuncts. So further, Brahman is also known in the other Upanishads, Karta, Bhokta, Vijñata, Niyanta. So the thing is, Brahman is also said, oh, he is the doer, he is the enjoyer, he is the knower, he is the controller, he is the commander. And also, Brahman is known as, oh, that is Vijnana, it is consciousness, Anandam, bliss.
Excuse me, Krishna, I want to ask you something. Are we understanding Kena Upaniṣad only the text, or according to Śaṅkarācārya, Ramanuja, and what any perspective understanding Kena Upaniṣad now, or mere textual understanding?
Only Brahman.
Textual
only
understanding.
Śaṅkarā-Bhāṣya. I'm
only Śaṅkarā-Bhāṣya.
The text understanding of Śaṅkarā-Bhāṣya.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Okay. So the thing is, see, this is a what you call Śaṅkarā-Bhāṣya is quite difficult to understand. I'm trying to make it clear. So what Kena Upaniṣad starts with the saying that this is the ear of the ear, mind of the mind, eye of the eye. That is Brahman. It says Brahman, right? But
yes.
Eventually what it says is, look, in the Vedas, you can find Brahman as Anandamaya, Vijnana, he is a Bhokta, Karta, creator, controller, and all those things. All those things are Vyāvahāras. Vyāvahāra means some transaction. Control means he controls something. There's some transactions. All these transactions, even Vijñāta is knowing. Bhokta is experiencing. Karta is an actor, agent. See, all these are actions, Vyāvahāraha. These activities does not refer to Brahman at all. They're used in relation to Brahman. To explain Brahman, all these things seems to be used, because Brahman is never explicable.
Understood.
Ityevamādhyaha samvyavahāraha asamvyavaharye nirvisheshe pare samye brahmani pravartante. Even in the Upanishad, they are trying to express Brahman in all these ways, which cannot be explicable at all this way. Give it up. Think that you are Brahman. Know that you are Brahman. And that is the truth. And not anything idam ityupadi beda vishishta. If you thing is, if you are understanding Brahman associated with different adjuncts, even associated with Ishvara as the adjunct. Ishvara is the Saguna Brahma. And that is not Brahma, because you think that Ishvara is Brahma or something else is Brahma. They are all adjuncts with attributes, and that cannot be Brahman. Tadeva Brahmatvam Viti Ityuktepi. That is why Śaṅkarācārya said, even though initially say it is said Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi Ityuktepi Na Idam Brahma Iti Anatmanah Abrahmatvam Punaha Muchyate. It is clarifying, yes, Chakshusha, Chakshuhu and all, they are all Brahman only. But again, it is clarifying that don't ever mistake what is not Brahman as Brahman, what is not Atman as Atman. That is what it is being emphasized here. Now we'll go further and clarify further. So mind cannot perceive Brahman, yat manasana manute, but mind works only because of Brahman. That is the simple meaning of this verse. The mind is made known to us because of the internal light, that is Atman's light. But mind cannot perceive that light. It cannot go towards its own object. See, mind can go towards an object. I see a light here, I see a computer here, I see that. So the mind can perceive an object, but it cannot go towards itself because itself is that Atman. So this we already went through. That is the Atman within makes mind work, and all aspects of mind functions work because of Brahman, and Brahman makes the mind go perceive the objects by spreading. Okay. So that which energizes mind, makes mind work, is that Atman Brahma, not this one, not anything which is an object. So this is said well in the Hiryana's work. To make it clear, I'm just going to read this because this it's very interesting that this particular shloka is not explained by Ramanuja.org when I looked at the Vishishtadvaita view of this verse. It's not that, but he explains prior verse and future verses. For some reason, he left out this verse. And I wanted all of us to understand it properly, and Hiryana has done a good job. Hopefully, I have not done any mistake here. Manas is the internal sense. I'm reading his work directly. Manas is the internal sense and is here used to signify both the buddhi and mind and manas. Manas is that which thinks and is the common factor in all sensory operations, being related to all kinds of objects. It is characterized by desire and so on, as recorded in desire, decision, doubt, faith, want of faith, boldness, covered eyes, shame, intellect, fear. All this is only mind, as said in the Vyāvahārika Upanishad. Manasa means by such a mind. Yat, that is the light of intelligence, that is Brahman. Oh, sorry. What happened? Just a second, please. Can you see my, can you hear me and can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see the screen now.
Okay, just a second. Oops. So, yet the light of intelligence, which is the illuminator of the mind, because Brahman is in its controller, being the source of its light, na manute, does not decide or desire. That is, mind cannot perceive. The self being the innermost of all objects, the mind cannot move towards it, which is its own self. Rather, the mind itself is able to think only when it is illumined by the light of intelligence residing inside. So mind works because of the intelligence inside. Therefore, it is that knowers of Brahman declare that the mind with all its function is thought or pervaded by Brahman. See, the word matam is understood as thought. Interestingly, Śaṅkarācārya does not understand the word matam as known. Mind is known through Paramatma or the Atman. That is one way to look at it, right? Śaṅkarācārya does not do that. Mind is pervaded by Brahman, he says. So this is where I was a little confused. I waited. I worked on it for a while. So, the mind is pervaded. Mind is thought means mind is made known to us in a way. That's what you need to understand. It doesn't make so mind is thought or mind is made known doesn't make much of a difference, but that is done by the pervasion of Paramatma, of Brahman everywhere. Hence, one should know that the self of the mind, the internal cognizer, only is Brahman. The internal cognizer is only Brahman. So here there is a interesting point I want to mention to you. Okay. I'll stop here and I'll question you because I want you to think a little bit carefully. It says the internal cognizer is Brahman. But can Brahman cognize?
I didn't understood the question. Can you repeat it, please?
So the thing is, in the previous slide, I read the last line. The cognizer, the inner cognizer is Brahman. Cognizer is knower. The inner cognizer is Brahman. That's what it mentioned. In fact, I can show back the screen, show the screen. So the thing is, you clearly know what I'm trying to say. Here it says, therefore, it is that knowers of Brahman declare, the people who know Brahman declare, that the mind with all its function is thought or pervaded by Brahman. Hence, one should know that the self of the mind, the internal cognizer, only is Brahman. That's what it says in the last button sentence here. I'm only focusing on the internal cognizer is Brahman. The internal cognizer within the mind is Brahman. That's what I'm saying. But I am now asking a question, stopping the share. Can Brahman cognize? According to Advaita, we are only talking Advaita here, nothing else. Don't think about a different system of thought. You only think about Advaita. Can Brahman cognize?
Okay, I don't know what the others speak, but I'm giving my opinion. So it is the mind is everything about the thoughts. So the Brahman, right? That conscious Brahman reflected in individuals like Suresh, body and mind, but which is Brahman is outside of Suresh body and mind. That's what I interpret it, and that's what exactly it's written there, according to Śaṅkarācārya Bhāṣya actually. And
think from only this question. Please think about a question. The question asked here is, can Brahman cognize?
Cannot. If a straight answer is cannot, but it only be reflected through other body and mind.
Okay, anybody else? I got the text, Ramanuja, I got your text, but I want people to start thinking properly, right? It cannot be a one-way stream of information. I want all of you to get it, right? So, what about others?
I feel
can Brahman cognize?
But what I feel is, even the cognizing part of the mind also coming from the source, Brahman, maybe that point, end point, starting point, everything is Brahman only. So for the mind to cognize also, that power is derived from Brahman only. It is in the nature of power, it might have.
No, please. We are not talking about mind. We are not talking about mind. I am only saying one question. According to Advaita, can Brahman cognize?
As a Pratyagatman, it can cognize.
Anybody else? I want different views. Anybody else?
The Brahman only gives us the power to cognize. It gives the mind to power to cognize, to understand what everything is. So Brahman has, since it is able to give the power to the mind, it should be able to cognize.
Okay. Any other view?
I say that Brahman cannot cognize. All it can do is witness. All it can be present, but it can't do anything else.
Okay. That's one answer.
I think Brahman can.
Anyone else? I can't hear you.
Brahman is capable of doing anything, so it can manifest itself if it wants to in any form, and so it can do anything.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Let me. Why I'm trying to say this is understanding Śaṅkara Bhāṣya is complex. Okay, that is the point I want trying to make. And I'm going to answer you this question: can Brahman be the cognizer? Many of you, what you said there, you're not wrong. All of you are expressing some aspects. But the thing is, we need to understand how in Advaita, different standpoints are taken, different perspectives are taken. Brahman can also be a Sakshi. Sakshi is witness. Brahman can be cognizer. Not because it can cognize, but it can make others cognize. It can make mind cognize. Truly, Brahman is Nirguṇa. That is, Brahman is attributeless. It cannot cognize. Truly speaking, the absolute truth, according to Advaita, is Brahman cannot cognize. Even Brahman as a witness is because of association with avidya or ignorance, and that itself is wrong. Brahman cannot be a witness to anything. So the true Brahman, the really true Brahman, according to Advaita, cannot cognize. But adjuncts are there, the associated things. For example, when you say Sakshi or witness, it is associated with the avidya or ignorance or maya. Then it becomes a Sakshi. It just watches, right? but doesn't know, doesn't operate, doesn't do anything, just watches. That's also possible. So Brahman has to come down from the true attributeless state to some watching state, that is Sakshi state. Then Brahman and mind may make, in the presence of Brahman, mind, everything operates. The Maya works, right? Because of Brahman. But Brahman doesn't even know Maya exists, because Brahman is not the knower. See the problem in Advaita? When they explain Upanishad statements, they bring down the level of reality. And talk about it. Here, why do I have to mention? Śaṅkarācārya mentions here in the Cognizer only is Brahman. Cognizer, right? And these are words of Śaṅkarācārya. Oh, can you hear now?
Yeah,
my internet is not.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Swami.
Here now. Oh, let me check what is happening. Hold on a second. Maybe my internet is wrong. Hold on a second. Oh, no wonder. Sorry. This should fix it. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, the voice is
Hello?
clear. The voice is clearer, but we cannot see the video yet.
I had changed my internet. I had switched my internet to a different internet. I changed it back. It should work now.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
The video and the audio. And if you can repeat what you said, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I will. Let me repeat it, and I'll take questions later on. Don't worry about the questions now. Let me repeat what I said. I'm just going to show the PowerPoint here. See, this is the actual translation by Hiriyana, who is a professor, and he has done a phenomenal job. The best he can do, right? What he says here is, hence, one should know that the self of the mind, the internal cognizer only is Brahman. So the Brahman is the self of the mind, and he is the internal cognizer. Well, how can a true Brahman who is attributeless be a cognizer? Really speaking, he cannot be a cognizer, even according to Advaita. But Śaṅkarācārya himself says this. This is the actual word of Śaṅkarācārya in English, right? See, if you stop sharing here, I can even go back. Oh, okay. Maybe I should share and go back. Hold on a second. Here it is. I'll share and then go back. I'll go back. Okay. This is the word of Shankara. Tasmat tadeva manasaha atmanam pratyakchetayitaram brahma vidhi. Pratyakchetayitaram means knower. So the inner self of the mind is the knower, and that is Brahma, not these other objects. This is what Śaṅkarācārya says. But even the Brahma cannot be a seer here. Pratyakcheta, whether you take it as a cognizer, or whether you take it as a sakshi or a seer or just a witness. It doesn't matter how you take this. It will still be Brahman. Truly, Brahman is not even a sakshi. So why am I saying this again and again is for you to understand Śaṅkarācārya himself, when he explains Brahman as seer, witness, or cognizer. So these words really don't exactly define Brahman. According to him, the true Brahman is Nirguṇa Brahman, which does Nirvishesha, absolutely no attributes. It cannot be objectified. It cannot be any object. You know.
Excuse me, Krishna.
Yeah, tell me now.
One doubt I have got. In that statement, Brahma, Atmanam Pratyak Chetayitaram. Brahma is the Chetayitara. It
Yes.
is not said that Brahma is Cognizer. Atmanam Chetayitaram. He makes the Atma cognize that. Brahma, Atmanam
Chetayitaram. Wait. Read as Manasaha Atmanam. Tasmat Tadeva.
Through mind, Brahma makes the Atman Chetayitaram.
No, it is not through mind. Hold on a second. Just hold on a second.
No, I know it may not be true mind, but I don't. I only word meaning I told.
1 second, just 1 second. That's what I will clarify through because the English in the Chetayitaram by that is here, Professor Hiriyana's understanding there as Chetayita is Cognizer. According to Hiriyana, it is Cognizer. According to Sachidanandendra Saraswati, let us see what he says. Hold on a second. Let me open Sachidanandra Saraswati. Just a second. Give me a second. Give me, I need to locate it properly. Hold on a second. Okay. Good. That, okay, let me show you this screen here. Okay. Yeah. You have pointed at a good point, actually. Let me explain to you why. Because this is the Sanskrit I'm showing. Now I'm saying the same. Let me show Sachidanandendra Saraswati view. Just a second. Where is my screen share? Can you see my screen? Okay. Actually speaking, I'm reading Kannada here because some people can read and some people cannot, but just listen to what I'm saying. This is the Sanskrit. Tasmat tadeva manasaha atmanam pratyak chetayitaram brahma vidhi. See here, is it in Kannada? Adarinda adanne ಎಂದರೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಆತ್ಮನಾದ ಒಳಗಿನ ಚೈತನ್ಯವನ್ನೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೆಂದು ತಿಳಿ. ನೇದಂ ಇದಲ್ಲ ಮುಂತಾಗಿರುವ. So the thing is, what Champaka Mami mentioned is right. Here it is not Cognizer. It's just consciousness. So the Brahman is the inner consciousness of the mind. It is not Chetayita. That means that which enlivens, that which makes things happen. That which makes mind think. That is Chetayita. That energizes the mind. Right? That is Brahman.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் அலோ பண்ணா நானு பேசுவா ஒரு நிமிஷம் பேசுவா.
Go ahead.
இந்த பிரம்மாங்கிறது மனசால ஒரு ஆத்மா தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்றது சேதயிதாரம். So he the it's like Brahma is not the Chetayita. The sentence that is not telling that. Brahma help பண்றது because it is the innermost. Everything is Brahma.
No, I understood what you're saying. I agree.
No, I know you understood because I wanted others also to understand what I am going to talk.
No, you're speaking in Tamil. You have to speak in English for others.
Sorry. I wanted all the others to know what I understood the Sanskrit words. That's what I mean.
No, let me explain what you said. I understand. Let me explain to them what you said.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. So what she mentions is there is an error in the Dr. Professor Hiranya's work. There he uses the word as Cognizer as Brahman. That is not what Śaṅkarācārya wrote. Śaṅkarācārya wrote, he enables the mind to work. It is a consciousness only. Cetayita means that which makes mind think or perceive. So it is not Cognizer. So even, okay, let me ask you a question. Even on this, there is a problem. Even if you say that the Brahman is the one which enables the mind to work, then it becomes Brahman has some kind of a function, right?
Everything is working through Brahman only, no?
That's not my question. No, that's not my question. My question is, if you say Brahman as totally Nirguṇa, Nirvishesha, Nishkriya, that means Brahman does not have any action, Brahman does not have any attributes, whatever. How can you refer to Brahman?
That means that even Vyāvahārika Satya also won't happen. If you say like that, what you say, according to that, even Vyāvahāra Satya will not occur, according to Advaita. If Vyāvahāra Satya irukratnale, Saguna, under irukratnale, in somewhat reason, Nirguṇa Brahma is the reason for the Saguna. Even the Saguna only is an effect of Nirguṇa. Ishvara.
Okay, let me clarify this way. Okay, let me see. See, the thing is, because of Brahman, we are in this world of Maya, the universe of Maya. We have this Vyāvahāras. Okay, from the Brahman's perspective, he is not acting. He is not even enabling the mind. From the Brahman's perspective, because from the Brahman's perspective, there is no universe. There is no mind.
Yes.
To even enable. But because it is so, all this is from our perspective. From our perspective, we are seeing all these things happening and all these things on a transactional level. You can transact. If I go out, I do get drenched in the rain. All this relatively, everything is true. But from a relative perspective, I can say he is enabling our mind working. Only from the relative perspective, from our perspective. Truly, he is not making the mind working. From his perspective, there is nothing other than himself. This is what I want you to understand. Because language can get very, very tricky.
Can I clarify? I mean, my mind clarify what I want to say, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, does this mean that the Brahman does not recognize the Jiva? But
what did you say? I didn't. Please, your voice is not very visible. We're not hearable.
The Brahman does not recognize the existence of a Jiva, Jivatma. Am I right in understanding that?
Brahman does not recognize what?
Cognize the Jivatma. But it's because he creates the illusion.
See, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't even create illusion.
He doesn't create illusion.
Because from Brahman's perspective, if you look at it, from the Brahman's perspective, there is nothing else other than Brahman. From the Brahman's perspective, you need to understand the perspective. Okay.
But Brahman,
when you and I are talking, when any of us are talking, we are only talking in a relative world. Inside Maya, we are sitting inside Maya and talking. We are inside the bubble. So from our perspective, we need to understand Brahman. Okay, Brahman is making our bubble work. Brahman is making Maya work. It's only from our perspective. Brahman is not really doing anything. Do you understand?
Who creates the bubble?
That's what I'm saying. It's from our understand the word perspective. We're talking from within the bubble. From the within the bubble, Yes, Brahman is making this bubble happen. Brahman is making me speak. Brahman is making all our minds work. That's all okay. From our perspective, from the student's perspective. But the realized people will become one with Brahman and they don't see the world. They don't see any actions. They don't see Brahman as acting, creating, or sustaining. Nothing will they know. See, this is the true view of Advaita. You need to understand. Perspective changes. Once a person becomes jnani or fully knowledgeable, forget he is still alive or something, or still some karmas are remaining. Don't forget all those things. He becomes totally jnani and doesn't even have a body. Fine. That jnani will know that nothing else exists. And that is where in the Bhuma Prakarana, in the Chandogya Upanishad, the chapter on the Bhuma Vidya, there is a question asked. Śaṅkarācārya says, Atmanam Vetivanava. That is, does Brahman know himself or not? See, when there is nobody else other than Brahman, then there is the obvious question, does Brahman know himself or not? Śaṅkarācārya himself asked these questions in Bhuma Vidya. Do you know what he answers? Atmanapi na veti. He doesn't know himself also. Because knowing becomes an action. Mental action.
Yes, that's true.
He doesn't. So why am I saying this is to understand, you need to understand Advaita step by step by step by step. And I'm going to clarify this even further because we studied Bhagavad Gita to a large extent. In fact, all of us in the 50 lectures, I have summarized Bhagavad Gita according to Advaita, Advaita and Vishishta Advaita in about 50 lectures in my 167 lectures, right? There is a very important point you need to understand. Śaṅkarācārya, only moves and speaks from the perspective of relativity. How? Initially says, in the second chapter, keep Krishna in mind. You will win over this and your mind will become stable. He accepts it. Śaṅkarācārya accepts it. Śaṅkarācārya says, yeah, you need to work. You need to keep your mind, control your mind, do something. Then he goes slowly in the 7th chapter. He says that among all the devatas, Krishna, that is Vasudeva is the highest. And then in the 7th chapter he says, because of the because we resort to this Krishna, Krishna is helping us understand Krishna. So he says all those things. And then Bhakti, even the 12th chapter, he goes and says there are two types of aspirants. One is Jnani, one is Bhakta. So Jnani doesn't need Bhakti. Jnani is already self-realized. So, but the Bhakta, he has to go worship in a temple, he has to do this, that, this. He says so many things to this Bhakta, but finally says, Krishna is helping everybody. In the 15th chapter, he says Krishna is the Paramatma. And he is different from Maya. And Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya. This universe is my power. So he says Krishna, then you have to worship Krishna, you have to purify your mind, you have to have bhakti, then you have to get jnana. Then he even says at the end, only by surrendering to this Krishna, you will get the dissolution of the 3 states, knower, known, and means of knowing. That is jnata, jnatra, jnaya. That is seer, seen, and the means of seeing. All this vanishes into one only by the grace of Krishna. Even that he accepts. Then he says, where is Krishna? Is there a Sakshi? Then he says, Brahman is only Sakshi. At some level, you will go as you progress from the lower levels of knowledge to higher levels. You go through, you become you become that, you are there, you are different from body. Then you say Krishna is different from you. You need the help of Krishna. Krishna is the ruler, controller, actor, helper, everything. Then you meditate on Krishna, fall at his feet, get his help, and then you get this jnana, knowledge. That knowledge says that there is no difference between knower, and the known object, or you, or the knowledge. There is no difference. Everything is cognized into one. Then can you be just a sakshi or a witness? At the high level, you become sakshi or a witness. Then afterwards, he is there, the Nirguṇa, he doesn't even see anything. Because Sakshi is a witness. When you can see a Maya or avidya or the ignorance, when you see ignorance, then you are a seer. When there is no ignorance to see, you are not even a seer. There is nothing to see. That is the highest level of Advaita. But when you learn, see, after all, Upanishad is also language. Is a teacher and a taught is something, a language, a transaction. So the words cannot express Brahman the way Śaṅkarācārya is explaining. He cannot. The words cannot. So Śaṅkarācārya says, the Upanishads can only show a finger and say, oh, over there is Brahman. Just like how I say, a little kid there's a cloudy day and you can see a moon behind the branches of a tree. And the kid says, oh, where's the moon? I cannot see, I cannot see. I can say, no, look at the tree here. You can look at that branch over there. Behind this is moon. So I have to only refer to the branches, leaves, and trees and everything to get that kid to know the moon. Similarly, the Vedas use different adjuncts, that which is not Brahman. And this is known in Sanskrit as Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means they are not direct characteristics of Brahman. They are characteristics of an adjunct, another entity which will tell you which will show or point towards Brahman. In that sense, the entire Upanishad is a Tatastha Lakshana. That means it's only, there are, language-wise we can say anything. But Vedas can only point to Brahman. You cannot know Brahman through Vedas. Just wanted to clarify this. I hope.
One thing is our effort is only in avidyaya mrityum tirtva. That is the effort of all our knowledge.
Exactly. See, in fact, a good point. Avidya mrityum tirtva means using avidya, you cross over the mortal.
Yes, we have to climb the ladder of avidya and then reach vidya.
True. You need a ladder of avidya to reach vidya. The ladder is all these the sadhanas or the methodologies like
all the methods.
Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Bhakti yoga, or any kind of methods to use, focus, worship or meditation. It doesn't matter what. All these are ladders within the Maya, within ignorance, and you use it to get out. Or in another way of looking at it is the fire burns the forest. But what happens? The fire burns itself. The fire quenches itself.
Extinguishes.
I'm sorry, not quenches, extinguishes itself. So all our activities, whether it's through mind or thought, can only be in this ignorance. We are all in this ignorance. Just wanted to clarify. I think this is very clear to some people. If not, you think about it and keep this in mind. That's all. Now, we are already...
It's a little puzzling to me. I mean, I have not fully understood the concept, but though I'm trying to understand. But if you read in between the lines about Brahman, the atheist view also seems very similar to me. I'm not trying to ridicule our system, but if I really think, ultimately the atheists also think that same way. There is nothing called, something unreal, something which you cannot imagine. Am I wrong or am I right?
We're not hearing you properly. You're going in and out.
I'll get back later on that.
Okay. Any other question, please? Because today, unfortunately, we are going out. We don't have much time. I have to leave for something, so I don't have much time. Unfortunately, but was this class useful at least to some people? Some people are still thinking about it. I know they have to think.
Very much useful, Swami.
Good.
Very good.
Good.
Very good.
Because this is the core and the essence of Advaita philosophy. That's why it's important. And that is why it is so hard to understand Bhāṣya, because at certain point, he's only using Vyāvahārika language, transactional language. There he uses, oh, Brahman is this creator, Brahman is protector. You fall at the feet of Brahman. He says all those things. But at the end, he says, Nirguṇa Brahman is totally beyond all these things. Okay, with this we will stop. And we will get back in the next week. Next week, I may have a problem. Next week, we may not have even the Gita class or the Upanishad class. I want to take a break next week. Hopefully, I will confirm this after 1 or 2 days. This is my plan at this point. I'm almost sure I don't want the class next week. I have to do some personal work, and otherwise I cannot even focus. That's why.
Thank you, Krishna.
Namaste. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Krishna Paraparamane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Paraparamane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Paraparamane Namaha. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Namaskaram. Thank you.